Hey everyone, welcome back to Reddit Stories with Sam. I'm really glad you're here today, and we've got some wild confessions to dive into, from friends we're off with benefits turning into full-blown relationships to major regrets and confusing dating dilemmas. Reddit's a dating advice forum is absolutely buzzing. Let's get right into it. Our first story is titled "Guy So Confusing." The user writes, I've been in a friends with benefits situation for a while now, like a year and a half, and it's starting to feel a lot more like a relationship than just casual. We spend time together outside of just hooking up. There's affection, pet names, cuddling, cooking, checking in on each other, and sometimes it feels really romantic. The catch is that we both agreed not to put a label on things, partly because of life circumstances like work and schedules, and partly because neither of us felt ready to commit to something official. That said, we're both only seeing each other, and it basically functions like dating, just without the title. I'm not upset about it, honestly I'm quite content, but it does leave me wondering, is it normal for friends with benefits to blur into something like this? Should I just enjoy it for what it is, or is the lack of a label something I should be cautious about long term? Has anyone else been in a similar situation where a casual thing grew into something that looked like a relationship, but without calling it one? How did it play out for you? Man, that is such a relatable modern dating scenario. It sounds like you're basically in a relationship in everything but name, right? The comfort is there, the exclusivity is there, it's just that label that's missing. I get why that could feel both comfortable and confusing at the same time. Alright, let's move on to our next story. This one is called "It's Been More Than 2 Months I Slept Properly." The user says, I was in a relationship with this amazing girl. We dated and things were really beautiful at one point, but then I messed it up. I broke up with her without giving her any proper closure. I hurt her deeply and left her with trauma that I can't undo. I know that now. I didn't realize what I had until she was no longer mine. After she walked away from my life, the truth hit me hard. So I tried to talk to her. I told her that I want to start over, a fresh chapter, this time with more intention and clarity. She listened and she said something that really stuck with me. She said I'm one of her closest friends, that she feels safest when she's with me. But then came the part that tore me up. She also said she's lost the romantic connection with me. She still hangs out with me every single day. We talk, we chill, we laugh. She seems genuinely comfortable around me. But the moment I open up about my feelings, she gets emotional and says she doesn't deny that I matter to her, but she keeps repeating that she can't come back because she's scared of being hurt again, scared because the spark isn't there anymore. Meanwhile, I'm not okay. I can't sleep, I've lost my appetite, and yet I can't even tell her all this properly because I don't want to overwhelm her or make her uncomfortable. If anyone's been through something similar, or even if you haven't, I'd appreciate any advice or perspective. I don't want to force anything on her. Oh, that is just heartbreaking. It sounds like there's still so much care there, but the trust and romance have been damaged beyond repair. That's such a tough place to be, wanting something back that you can't really get back. Now on to our third story. We made out, and she's not texting me back. Here's what happened. So there's this girl I've known for a few weeks in college, and we've gotten on kind of well and would text every now and again. About 2 weeks ago, she told some of her friends, who told mine, that she liked me. We were playing some games in my dorm which involved drinking water, and she kinda confessed she liked me and found me attractive, which I also feel the same. For the next few weeks or so, we texted a few times a day and flirted a bit. Last Friday, I invited her to a party, and we ended up going back to hers and making out for a few hours before I left. I thought she enjoyed it, and from what I gathered, I did well. Also, before I left, she told me to message her. It's been 5 days since that, and I've texted her a few times. She replies, but often quite slow, and she doesn't seem as interested as before. Like, I messaged her last night asking how she's doing, and she just replied with, I'm good, how are you? And then she hasn't replied to my response since. If anyone has any tips on what I should do, because I'd quite like to meet up with her again, and I do quite like her. The classic post-makeout fade. That's always a confusing one. It sounds like maybe the chemistry wasn't what she hoped in person, or she got nervous. It's hard to say. One commenter had this insight. Kissing is a make or break kind of thing. She probably just didn't feel the sparks when she was making out with you. It doesn't mean you did anything wrong necessarily, just that you don't have the physical chemistry. That's a really fair point. Sometimes it's just not there, even if the buildup felt great. Next up, story number 4. I'm feeling very hesitant. The user writes, Hi, so I'm an 18-year-old female and my boyfriend is a 21-year-old male. We've been dating for around 3 weeks, but he currently is in Colorado and he's moving across to where I am, and his sister also resides there, but He wants me to move in with him in about 2 weeks or so. He's been incredibly genuine, but I can't help wondering if I'm crazy or moving way too quickly. I haven't noticed any red flags thus far, and he always makes sure he has my opinion and constantly tells me how much he appreciates me. I really do like the thought, but I can't help having second thoughts since I have an anxiety disorder. Anyways, I just wanted to see what everyone thinks is the best move. I do currently sleep in my grandma's living room and I'm very depressed here, which is partially why he really would like me to move in. I'm just not sure if I'm being naive or not. I do think it would be a better living situation for me. Any advice is appreciated. Too long, didn't read. My boyfriend of 3 weeks wants me to get an apartment with him. Whoa, okay. Moving in together after 3 weeks? And you're only 18? I totally get why you're hesitant. One commenter said, 3 weeks dating at age 18 and moving across country and moving in with him are what's proposed? No way, no how would that be a safe, let alone a sane action in my opinion. Tackle your anxiety disorder more directly. For example, try daily meditation. That is such solid advice. Your mental health and safety have to come first, even if the living situation isn't ideal right now. All right, story 5, red flags and how much the past really matters. Here we go. So I met this guy about a few weeks ago and we've already hooked up several times. We've been spending so much time together since then. He says he'd love to take things to a relationship level if I'm down for it. However, there are some red flags and I'd like others' opinions on this because I'm kind of gaslighting myself right now. So first of all, he left a relationship about 4 months ago. The dude is quite open. He straight up told me he cheated in the relationship. Then yesterday, after some wine, I opened up about my own previous relationship. I told him that I had left something out regarding my ex, that he was married, and that puts into perspective how our relationship ended. Yeah, I know that makes me a red flag too. As soon as I mentioned this, he started judging me, of course, but then also shockingly revealed to me that he hadn't just cheated on his ex-girlfriend, but he also slept with her friend. That completely shocked me and changed things instantly for me. We started going back and forth, judging each other about whose actions were worse. Anyway, I guess my questions are, while he is a walking red flag, at what point does he get some grace for the past? Does it mean that, going by social rules, people like him and I who've done bad things like this don't deserve to have someone date us? He says he's remorseful, but if you were in my position, would you run? The relationship question is off the table, of course. I'm just trying to decide whether I should give up the sex as well. Edit, we're both 26. Okay, wow, that is a lot to unpack. It sounds like you're both acknowledging some pretty significant mistakes, but the judging each other part is not great. One commenter summed it up pretty bluntly: 2 cheaters. Sounds perfect. Now neither of you will be cheating on anyone else. Harsh, but maybe there's a kernel of truth there? If you're both aware of each other's past, maybe there's honesty, but it still sounds pretty messy. Finally, our last story, crushing on Tinder match. The user writes, I'm a 24-year-old female and I met this guy, I'll call him Dan, on Tinder. He's 34, I really like him. Initially, we had such a spark and I really fell for him. He had mentioned the idea of a relationship between us after a few dates, and I did say I'd like that. It never was a direct question of a relationship, just like hinting at it. Also, we were still getting to know each other. I met him on Tinder, so I just assumed he probably was going on other dates and talking to other girls. In my head, it felt presumptuous to assume he would only focus on me without us clarifying anything. I was texting like 2 other guys very briefly who I decided to stop talking to since I find myself thinking about Dan so much. I felt I was wasting anyone else's time. I deleted my dating apps and didn't think much of it. I felt like Dan was much more quiet than usual, so I asked if he could clarify where he was mentally with all of this. And he had said that he noticed my Tinder profile updating while we were talking, and it put his guard up in a way. This was about 2 weeks ago, and all I had said was that I understood why he'd feel that way. Over text, I feel like I get misunderstood a lot, so I didn't really get into anything else regarding that. I just apologized and left it at that. We haven't seen each other in about a month or texted in 2 weeks. I was hoping to see him in person to talk more about that. I feel I've waited too long now. I regret handling it the way I did. I don't know what to say to put us back on the right track. I just know I'm crushing on him hard. Should I ask to talk about this over coffee? Do I just leave him alone? Miscommunication over dating apps is so common, isn't it? It sounds like you both had different expectations. One commenter advised, ask him out and clarify everything from your end. Do your job to the best of your capability. See, if you have done so and the other side still does not put some trust in you, then leave him alone. That's really wise, clear, honest communication is key. If he's not willing to meet you halfway after you explain, it might be time to let it go. Thanks so much for joining me today on Reddit Stories with Sam. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts below. Until next time, take care.